Right, all. Just to reflect on my time in Stonehenge on the winter solstice, and obviously with what came out today, the shocking revelations that black people built Stonehenge, I just thought I'd have a look back on the photos I took, and funnily enough, I don't see many black people at the event. It's mainly white people that were at the event, British people who feel the connection to that land, lots of modern day druids. Ironically, the people at that event I was well aware because they reminded me of the anarchists in the movie Children of Men, which is a movie I need to cover at some point. You know, because they're the kind of people who are probably on board with Black Lives Matter, climate change. You know, they're the anarchists, lefties that probably tore the statues down in Bristol. And I was well aware throughout that one day I could potentially end up fighting these people, and if there's ever like a civil war broke out or whatever. But that's not what it's about. You know, I just thought I'd look back on the photos that I took on that day. The video, the photos, they're all mine from the Winter Solstice 2022. That woman there was an absolute goddess. She was a proper European goddess, she was. You know, a guy dressed up as a druid, people in the red dresses, you know, doing their stuff. But you can see it there. There's not much diversity in that place. I definitely didn't see any Muslims. I might have seen one or two Indians, may have seen one or two black people, but you can see the overwhelming majority are Europeans. And them photos take you back in time. You know, like there might well be far left anarchist types, but so what? You know, like on that day, they seriously looked the part. You know, there probably are people that would prefer to live, anti-civilization people who prefer to live in the wild. And to be honest with you, it's not a bad philosophy, you know, but that's a different topic. What I will cover as well, one of the people I'm fortunate enough to have comments on my channel is Sandra Rees, you know, a bit of a shout out for you. You commented yesterday that multiculturalism in itself is satanic, and you're right, the book of Genesis, I'm aware, you know, God separated the nations of the earth from Babylon, you know, because we live in Babylon now already, don't we? We've got all the nations being Hebrew, I think, for races. So you've got all the races squeezed in together on this little island, and it's all in the Western world. That is. This is an end product of globalization. It's a satanic project. Multiculturalism, multiracialism is. We were never meant to live squashed in together like this. We're meant to live separately. Because the end product is obviously a lot of friction, like we're seeing today. And what I will say is as well, I actually am fucking quite sick of having to talk about all this stuff, you know, like racism, and we wouldn't have this problem if people just stayed in their own countries. And I've actually got no gripes at all with Muslims, black people, but what do you expect me to do? You know, like, what am I supposed to just sit back, you know, and just accept it? You're rewriting history, colonising towns and cities. The list is endless, isn't it? I mean, taking over power in government, telling us what to do. What do you expect me to do? I mean, the only thing I can do is make these videos for the time being. But I would prefer if it went back to how it was in the noughties and the 90s, where there was a small amount of diversity. No one really cared. Great, you know, you got a Chinese on the corner, you got an Indian restaurant on the corner. That's fine, but there's a big difference between that and obviously towns and cities being conquered and colonised. I'm waffling again, and I think I've probably gone off topic, but the main point being is, looking back on my photos from Stonehenge, you can tell who feels a bond to Stonehenge and who doesn't by who attends these solstice events. And it's there's a small amount of diversity that goes there, definitely, but you can tell the ancient Celtic, Germanic, Scandinavian people of this country, particularly the Celts, you'll find at these events. But, you know, I mean, the Scandinavian, Germanic peoples, and even the Slavs, the Europeans, you know, they've got a similar culture to us. So, I mean, you're going to find them at these events as well. So, where are all the Muslims and the Africans? You know, why aren't they going to this event if they built it? Surely they feel a connection to this monument. And that's it. Cheers.